You've used the magic question and it worked. And now you've got a name, Sarah, the marketing director. So now you're sitting there staring at LinkedIn. You're thinking, what the heck do I say to this person who I've never met? They don't know me. This is where most people freeze. And I get it. Reaching out to strangers feels uncomfortable, but I'm about to show you exactly what to say to get them to say yes to talking to you, even meeting you and helping you. By the end of this video, you'll have the exact scripts and strategies to reach out to anyone and get them to agree to a conversation, ideally in person. And you'll understand why this approach gets responses when cold outreach usually gets ignored. But I'm also going to show you how to use cold outreach. So let's get going. Now, I've taught this framework to hundreds of graduates. They've used it to connect with CEOs, hiring managers, industry professionals, leaders who normally ignore cold messages. And the response rate is pretty high. It's about 60 to 70% when done correctly. And that's not luck, that's strategy. Let's start with what not to do. Here's the message most people said: don't do this. Hi, Sarah, I'm looking for opportunities in marketing. I saw you work at XYZ company. Would you be willing to chat about potential openings? Delete, ignore, ghost, no response. Why? Because this approach is transactional. You don't know this person. More importantly, they don't know you. This approach makes them feel like you're trying to use them to try to get something from them, and they can feel it. Yuck, I don't want that for you. Don't do that. There's no rapport, there's no referral, there's no context. Busy professionals get dozens of these messages every week. That's why they just become noise to them and they don't respond. That's why DMing people the wrong way on LinkedIn doesn't work. Now, messages that get responses have 4 critical elements. These are messages that do get a response. Number 1, you have a warm introduction from someone they know and you know. A warm introduction from someone you both know. And they've asked if they'd be interested in meeting you. Pretty simple. So if I asked my neighbor, Vinny, who's right over there across the fence, hey, do you know anybody in this field? I'm looking to talk to them. And he thinks of someone. I want to make sure that I mention that my neighbor, Vinny, is their friend and that he reached out to them. They're going to go, oh, right. Yeah, I saw an email from Vinny. Oh, wow. You know Vinny. You want that to fire off in their brain. So here's element 2. It's a specific low pressure ask. You're not asking for a job. You're not asking if they're hiring. That's what everybody else is doing. What you're asking is to interview them, to meet them. In person is ideal. You can do this over the phone. That works really well. It can also work over Zoom, but in person is the best. It's all about interviewing them to learn about their journey, their career, pull their story out of them. It's flattering and it makes a big difference. It actually has a magical superpower, and it's why I love this method so much. And then here's element 3. Before you meet them, you want to do your research on them. So that way, when you meet them, your research can fall out of your mouth and it'll be acknowledging them in a way that demonstrates that you know something about who they are and what they do. And then element 4, you want to be respectful of their time. You're going to acknowledge that they're busy and make it easier for them to say yes by being specific about what you're asking for. Like 30 minutes is a reasonable amount of time. When you combine all these 4 elements together, you're going to transform from random person asking for favors into someone worth talking to. Let's talk about warm introduction, because there's warm introduction and then there's cold outreach. But before I get into that, let's back up for a second. Because remember, the best way to get a busy professional to agree to meet you is with a warm introduction given from someone in your network who knows them by asking the magic question. Now the referral has agreed to meet you and it's no longer a cold outreach. It's a 2-step process. There's the direct ask, and then there's the indirect ask, and that's where you use the magic question. So here's the direct ask. For example, let's say you approached your neighbor, Mike Williams. Hey, Mike, I'm looking to get into the field of engineering, and I was wondering if you knew anyone. I'm looking to meet people so I can learn more about it and what's involved. Do you know anyone? Now, most people are going to say no. They'll struggle to think of anyone because you've asked them on the spot. That's why I call it a direct ask. They'll say something like, no, I can't think of anyone I know in engineering. In fact, my friend Vlad, he just asked me today, hey, Warren, do you know anybody in logistics? And I totally froze up and I was like, logistics? And I couldn't think of anybody. I couldn't think anybody to ask to know somebody just because of the nature of the direct ask. It's okay. You want to start with that direct ask. Here's what you say if they say no. They can't think of anybody. That's okay, Mike. If you think of anyone later, just let me know. Give me a call or text. Before I go, can I ask you one more question? By the way, they're always going to say yes because you just promised you're going to go. They can get back to their regularly scheduled life. And that's where you're going to do step 2, the indirect ask or the magic question. And the magic question goes like this. Mike, if you were me, who else should I be talking to? This puts them into advice mode. That's why I call it the magic question. Because the first one, the direct ask, is, hey, do you know anyone in engineering? And they're going to go into the library, kind of like inventory mode. But the magic question is asking, it's kind of has an advice angle to it. If you were me, who else should I be talking to, Mike? So it puts them in advice mode and they'll turn their head and they'll look up. That's what most people do. But they'll be in this, they're thinking and they're actually trying to help you. And they might say something like, wait, my friend Sarah, she does consulting with engineering firms and she'd be really great for you to meet, right? So they might think of somebody, or they might say, because you asked the magic question, you might say, have you thought of talking to the Engineering Association? Actually, let me ask my friend Sarah. What you say next is this. Your friend Sarah? You think she'd be great for me to meet? Tell me more. You're just trying to wind them out and help them expound more on why Sarah. And then Mike proceeds, he's going to go off and he's going to go on and on about, oh, yeah, Sarah, she's great. She's hysterical. Like, she is super competitive and we play tennis every Thursday. They're going to go on and on and on. And these are golden details. Here's what you say next. Wow, Sarah sounds amazing. I'd love to meet her. But how would that even work? I mean, would you be willing to reach out to her on my behalf? That way, when I call, she'll be expecting my call and I won't be some total stranger. And if they agree, would you send an email introducing both of us and make sure you CC me? Now, they're going to be totally impressed because this is what people do in business all day long. They make introductions or they're talking about a project and they CC somebody and they say, Ralph, this is Mike. She's head of marketing on this project and blah, blah, blah. You know, there's always humans putting people together. So they know how to do this. They've done this before and you're acting like a professional. This is awesome. It positions you. Next, Mike is going to reach out to Sarah. He's probably going to say, you know what, Warren, that's a really good idea. That does make sense. I should be the one to reach out to her because it was his idea. And it's his relationship with Sarah. So Mike's going to reach out to Sarah to ask if she'd be willing to meet you. She's going to say yes or no. Now, she's more likely to say yes, or at least to want to say yes, because of her relationship with Mike. So you're borrowing the leverage of their relationship. Most people don't want to disappoint their friends and they want to help them and support them, right? It's not a guarantee. She might be busy. She might be on travel for the next 2 months on the other side of the planet, or she might have something going on. She might be unavailable. She might even say, I'd love to help, but I'm busy. It would have to be 3 months from now in June. Well, that's a yes. If Sarah agrees to meet you, Mike's going to send the email and make the introduction. Now, here's how to follow up to confirm or set that meeting. All you have to do is reply to Mike's email, reply all, and schedule the meeting date and time location. There's one little caveat here. Email works great, but emails inboxes are noisy and cluttered. There's a lot of marketing messages that go in there. People often have multiple email addresses. I think I have like 7, right? So it's possible they might not see it. If I really want something to happen, I will email and I'll call them, or I'll email and text, or email and a LinkedIn message. You get the idea. Here's the exact script when you have a warm introduction. Here's what this looks like. Subject, Mike Williams suggested I reach out to you. See, you want to include the name of the person who's connecting you. Think of it. They're scanning through their email inbox, going like, oh, how do I get to inbox 0? I hate email. Which of these emails should I look at? They're looking at subject lines, and they're going to see Mike Williams suggested I reach out to you. Hi, Sarah. My neighbor Mike Williams contacted you recently and said you'd be open to meeting with me. Thank you. I'm a recent graduate at blah, blah university, exploring a career in engineering. And when I mentioned this to Mike, he immediately said, oh, you need to talk to Sarah. She works with engineers all the time, or she's doing great work at this company. When would be a good time for us to meet? Dates, times. I'm happy to work around your schedule and can come to meet you in person. If that doesn't work for you, we could also do phone or Zoom. I know your time is valuable, so it will only take 30 minutes. I'd love to interview you to learn about your career journey, the work you're doing, how you got into engineering, and what you've learned along the way, or any advice you have. Looking forward to meet you. Gratefully, then you sign your name and put your phone number. Put your phone number there because they might want to call you or text you. You never know. Notice what this does. You've name dropped the mutual connection who referred you in the subject line, reminding them that they told their friend, who's your neighbor, that they agreed to meet you. You've complimented their work. You've made it clear that you're not asking about a job. You're not asking them to give you a job. You're asking to interview them about their career, their experience, so you can learn about the industry. And they'll get it. They were young once too, graduated from college once too. And you've respected their time by being really specific about how long it's going to be. That's it. Really simple. Now, cold outreach. What if you don't have an introduction and you found someone that you want to reach out to? It's definitely harder than if you do have a warm introduction, which I highly recommend. That's the preference, but it can still work. One thing I would highly recommend is if you're using LinkedIn, find their posts and comment on their posts in thoughtful ways. Like you might add to their post. If they're talking, they post about something their company's doing, whatever the thing is, think of something that would add to the post. You could ask a curious question. Basically, you want to be commenting often on their stuff before you reach out, because then when you reach out to them, cold outreach, it won't be quite so cold because they might recognize you from the comments because you've commented more than once. Now they're just like you and I, man. I mean, I got to confess, I'm a human. If I post something, I can't help it. It's embarrassing. I want to see like, who did anybody comment? You know, the dopamine. Does anybody care? They're the same. They're going to be doing the same thing. If they took the time to post on LinkedIn, they're going to be reading the comments. The comments are way more effective to warm up a little bit before the cold outreach. So that's what we want to do first. Now, here's a good example of a cold outreach script. Hi, Sarah. I've been following your work at XYZ company, particularly specific project or post they shared. The way you approached a specific detail, it stood out to me. You're paying some type of compliment here. I'm currently exploring a career in engineering, and I've decided to learn from people who are actually doing the work. I'm genuinely interested in learning about your career journey, the work you're doing, and how you got into the field of engineering, and what you've learned along the way. I just want to interview you. Happy to work around your schedule. I totally understand if you're too busy to respond, but even 1 or 2 line reply would make my day. Gratefully, and then sign your name and then put your phone number below it, or at least maybe your LinkedIn profile. Different people like to reply or communicate in different ways. I like to leave my phone number. The key here is specificity. You've proven you've actually looked at their work, because you referred to something they're posting or something that's happening at that work. You're not just copy pasting the same message to 50 people. It's personal. It's not scalable. It takes time and effort. You're trying to create human connection. Now you've reached out to them, and here's what happens next. If they say yes, you're going to confirm a specific date and time immediately. Don't leave it vague. Send one follow-up, just one, something like, "Hi, Sarah, I know you're busy, so I wanted to follow up. If now is not a good time, no worries at all. I appreciate you considering it." And if they still don't respond, move on or go back to commenting. You could comment on their post and say, "By the way, I sent you a direct message." Again, when you're commenting on their posts, you want to be curious, compliment something. Don't fake it. Don't lie. Be genuine. Be a human. So if they still don't respond, don't take it personally. Move on. They might be overwhelmed. You never know. They might be on vacation. They might be dealing with something in their life. Being human is hard. The beauty of this system is you're not relying on just one person. You're building a pipeline of conversations with multiple people. You're building a network. Some will say yes, some won't. That's the game. Here's what I want you to understand. You're not bothering people. You're giving them a gift. This is a mindset thing. You reaching out to people, whether it's through warm outreach or it's cold outreach, you're giving them a gift because most people love talking about their journey and they don't get to do it very often. They don't get to share their story very often. And that's why this strategy works so well. Think about it. They remember when they were starting out too, and someone helped them maybe. They'll want to pay it forward, especially if it comes with a warm introduction, like through a referral. So when you approach them with genuine curiosity and you're asking to learn from their experience and you're respectful, especially of their time, most people are honored if they have time and interest to do it, especially because you're not being transactional and you're not coming right out of the gate trying to extract something from them. You're not asking them for a job or are you hiring? Yuck. No, you're not being a burden. It's a gift. I haven't found anything more fulfilling to people yet than helping others, making a difference for others. I mean, put it in the comments if you found something that's more fulfilling than helping others or making a difference for other people. Let me know. I'd love to learn. If you really want to slay the cold email or direct message outreach, then look no further than my favorite book, The Third Door by 19-year-old Alex Benayan. It's one of my all-time favorite books. It teaches about how to manufacture opportunities, how to find opportunities and leverage connections and mentors, especially when you're doing hard or seemingly impossible or challenging things. Even if you think you have zero resources, it's such a great book. It's amazing. I highly recommend it. If you'd like me to send you Alex's email, the actual template, cold outreach email that he sent that landed him his golden dream mentor, go to the link in the description, or I'll tell you right now, it's at momentumschool.com/cold outreach. Now you might be thinking, well, Warren, this is great. So I know how to do warm outreach and cold outreach and all these different ways to get the meeting, especially warm outreach. But what do I do when I get the meeting? What do I say? What do I ask? That's what I'm going to cover in the next video. I call them reverse interviews. And this is game changer. I've gotten so many of my own jobs, most of my friends, my wife's friends I was talking to the other day, they all have gotten jobs. Even today, using connections. And the reverse interview process is the best way to do it. Go watch it in the next video. You're going to love it. It's amazing. By the way, if you're liking these videos and you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe you don't want to subscribe. If you could just click the like button, that'd be awesome. It'll help other people find us and you know the deal, algorithm, right? So here's your homework. I want you to send one outreach message this week, just one. Pick someone, maybe from the introductions you got using the magic question, or you could find someone on LinkedIn whose work you generally admire, or they're at a company you're interested in, and you've been commenting on their post. If you're thinking like, oh, Warren, I haven't commented, start commenting on their post, not once, multiple times. It works. Use the scripts I just gave you. You can customize them and make your own, but you want to follow the idea, the gist. That's why scripts, right? Send the message, outreach, go interrupt them. And if you want the complete outreach framework, like including these templates, scripts for different scenarios or follow-up sequences, go take the job search strategy quiz. If you take the quiz, not only will it score and look at your job search strategy, it'll tell you what's missing, what you're doing well, and what you're not doing well, right? What you need to work on. And it'll offer you a chance to book a free call with me. We'll go over your quiz results, and we can go over your outreach methods that you're using. So now that you know how to get busy professionals to meet with you through warm introductions, cold outreach, I want you to go watch this video next where I show you what to say, what questions to ask when you actually meet them so that they'll want to help you, give you advice, and even introduce you to their friends, their network. Let's get to work. I'll see you in the next video.